We have with us then Mr. R Chandrashekhar, President in Nasscom, to highlight what does it mean for India per se and what can we expect, or rather what can we expect from the digital India theme. Mr. Chandrashekhar, firstly, what does the idea of digital India mean for you, and what according to you could be the opportunities that Nasscom sees from here onwards?
See, I think Digital India is a very, very ambitious program, and one which holds great promise as far as the country is concerned, because of the sweeping impact that it can have across all sectors of the economy. If you look at the opportunity in Digital India to transform different key sectors of the economy, you look at business and retail and what's happening in e-commerce and the pace at which that change is happening. But you also look at areas relating to some of the less prominent ones, like you look at manufacturing, or you look at infrastructure in terms of power or ports or telecom. In all of these areas, again, there are significant opportunities for adoption of technology to bring in efficiency and effectiveness in the provision of such infrastructure.
Okay, so my question then, Mr. Chandrashekhar, allow me to interrupt you because I just want to get some quick numbers out here. What sort of revenue potential do you see from this initiative? Is Digital India a lucrative opportunity for IT companies?
Again, you know, I think this is an area where we perhaps need to look not just at in terms of the direct revenues to the IT companies or the direct revenues to the telcos, but also what is the multiplier impact on the economy as a whole which this transition brings. And if you look at the multiplier effect on the economy and the benefits that it brings in different sectors, that is really huge. There have been some estimates that, for example, the McKinsey Global Institute had done a study which brought out that the cumulative impact of digital and disruptive technologies in India could be as high as $500 billion to $1 trillion annually by the year 2025. So even if you take the lower side, the lowest of these projections, that's a substantial sum of money. And considering that all of this additionality to the economy is enabled by ICT infrastructure, by ICT solutions, the revenues that are being looked at in the context of the overall economic gain that it leads to is really quite minuscule. So I think as long as the focus is on the multiplier and on the economic benefits that accrue, the revenues to the industry are actually a very small fraction of that, and there is little doubt that that presents an attractive option for the industry.
So a fair point. Now this also involves multiple stakeholders, because everyone from the telecom operators to IT companies, even internet companies like Facebook now are trying to take ownership of Digital India. What needs to be done to tie some of these parties, A, which are not on the same terrain, B, are competing?
You know, let me answer the question in a slightly different way. When the telecom challenge was faced by the country in the 90s, the approach taken was to really open up that sector, to bring in the private industry, and to create a competitive environment within an appropriate framework. Once that happened and companies came in and the incentivization of these investments was brought under a very clear structure in the national telecom policies, in a period of 10 years we were able to accomplish what no other country in the world had done, and at a pace which was second to none, including China. The question here therefore is, how do we actually align the abilities and the interests of all of these different stakeholders so that they are contributing their might to making this transition happen. And I think that is not in the nature of detailed micro planning as you would for executing a blueprint, but more in terms of creating a policy and strategy framework, which actually makes it clear to all the players as to how they can position themselves and how they can avail of those opportunities. Once that becomes clear, then all of these different entities would actually be pushing in the same direction, and that, I believe, is how Digital India can be really successful.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, pleasure speaking with you today on the Digital India campaign by the government. Good speaking with you as always.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.